Hello my friends and welcome to Loop Hero with me, Notorious BLT. We are going... Oh, what the heck? Weird. We are going to start a new game of Loop Hero. So, I've played a bit of Loop Hero before, but I figure, like, we'll try this out and see how things go. The stars in the sky are going out, one by one. But no one notices it. No one can stop it. I'm racing to the last place where there is still hope. I need to make it before it is too late. Sounds of agony will quickly fade. The world will be destroyed. Even the memory of it will be gone. And even if there is absolutely no chance of bringing it back, there will always be someone who is willing to do the impossible. In a place without space, without time, without memories, without a good haircut. No, let's see, where am I? I can't see anything except this path. My head is killing me. I remember only a skeleton with a staff in the sky. This darkness was coming from him. Did he destroy everything around here? Just standing here won't do me any good, I guess. Yeah, so, oh, I thought I had actually, changed the, thing. So, this is the tutorial. I figure we'll run through this just so people can see what the game is like if you haven't heard of it before. Although, I mean, at this point, I think everybody and their mother has heard about Loop Hero. Hope I'll be able to find some shelter before nightfall, if such a thing as night still even exists without the sky, of course. Pay attention to the day progress bar, that's this guy. New enemies usually appear at the end of the day. Continue your journey by changing the game mode, space, right-click, or mode switch. The living ball of slime, quite a nuisance. They digest everything they can. Hey, I remember this creature. Maybe I just need to freshen up my memory and everything will go back to normal. Traveling, fighting, and most other actions are done automatically. The player can't affect them directly. Press anywhere to continue. So, essentially, like, this game can just be played with the mouse, which is pretty great. It's hard to fight with your bare hands. I think there's a new, I think there's our weapon, and the remains of this thing that's not fully digested. So now we equip our new weapon. I think I remember that there was a grove nearby. Are these even my memories, or do they belong to that slime? So now we can move terrain. So like this is the kind of overall gameplay loop of the game, where you place down terrain, and that kind of changes how things work. Forest rat wolf. I was right, some emotional stress, a few colorful images, and a bit of adrenaline, and everything will be forgotten like a bad dream. Or remembered as a bad... Damn, it's good that nobody's listening. Yep, nobody, exactly. Equip a new weapon, place it in the car. Okay, we've already done that, but also, well, I mean, it's also asking us to do this other shit, so... Let's do this. So, like, every, you know, there's levels to gear, essentially what it comes down to. Let's do that. So, interesting to me that we're getting forest so early. There's a mountain over there, and a forest here. The world is just like new. The branches and stones in my backpack are sure sign of that. Some of your actions will yield resources that you will need later on, but not right now. But that shouldn't stop you from looking at them right now. Continue your journey. Yeah, so, you know, essentially, like, this is the other bar that fills up as the boss bar. I think it's time to get some rest. The game itself is a journey on a looped path. Only you will decide when it's time for the hero to return to camp. Either you or the fangs and claws of your enemies, of course. You can retreat almost any time, but a special animation will let you know when it's safe to do so. Retreat to the camp by pressing the button. Bang. Retreat. So normally when you retreat, you're not going to get, like, a bunch of anything. It's cold and dark here. A small fire can solve both these problems. Now, place to set up camp. A nice place to set up camp. This is when all resources you've gathered will come in handy. Who would have thought? You have just enough wood and stone to make a campfire. What a nice coincidence. Build a campfire using the build function while camping. So we're going to build this. Hero restores 20% of his max HP upon entering the camp tile. So I have a camp. Congratulations, you've beaten this annoying tutorial. You can now start your first expedition, or not. Do as you wish. Click anywhere to complete this tutorial. Okay, let's go on an expedition. We're going to start. So you don't really get a chance to change your deck at all, because your deck changes. Or rather, not changes, but you can change your deck. This path, everything is wrong, but I remember. It looks like a completely different place, and it's empty again. Do my actions have any meaning? Like I have a choice. If I need to give up and cry to save the world, I'm the worst savior of all. Let's do it. Yeah, so, you know, the game is like, you do this looping, you know, and you gain resources and other things, so like this road lantern, and on the right-hand side it tells you what it does. Increase the maximum number of monsters and adjacent tiles the effective lanterns can stack. Alright, so, you know, the thing is, we want monsters. We want monsters to spawn so that we can get loot and cards to place in the world. Because everything that we place does something. Like, this gives us more damage. You know, we've got ring slot, a shield slot, and an armor slot. And there's other ways to do this, too. And by do this, I mean, you know, like, there are things you can do that'll affect this other stuff as well. And other classes use different pieces of equipment, etc. Is this the same? That's the same. Alright, we also got a Meadows, which we're not going to place yet. And I'll tell you why. So normally you place this Meadows, and he heals you for 2 HP at the start of each day. But, if we do something like place a rock first. So if you put a Meadows next to anything, it becomes a Fertile Meadows, or Blooming Meadows, rather. And he heals 3 HP at the start of each day. Let's put down this skeleton. Well, I say it's a skeleton, but it's a cemetery that spawns a skeleton every 3 days. Skeletons are kind of heinous. So as far as I'm aware, there are 3 different classes in the game. Okay, so that actually just straight up does more damage because it's got magic damage attached to it. Let's do a grove yonder. What was I going to say? Right, and so as you progress through the levels, like right now we're on our first loop. This is kind of what I was looking for here. Although this is not exactly the place. Wait, do I have Blood Grove? I don't think so. So let's place that next to this. Vampires are kind of heinous. But I'm going to place one here anyway. And then I think we're going to place a road lantern. But, so like, you know, you may ask, okay, well, if vampires are kind of heinous, why the hell would you place one anywhere? I am unsure if this is the case, but it seems to me that the more, like, the tougher enemies that you fight, the better chances of good loot. Don't know exactly how true that is, but we'll find out. So, you know, different equipment gives you different stats and things of that nature. Like, this is going to give us more HP, because it's armor. So now we got another rock and a mountain. Actually, we got a bunch of stuff. So, let's place down another rock. Because if you look at the rocks, it says plus 2 HP, plus 2 more HP for every adjacent rock or mountain. But then you look at the mountain, and it says plus 5 HP for each adjacent rock or mountain. So the mountain only gets stuff when it's adjacent to rocks and mountains. I don't know exactly what, like, the most efficient way to do this crap is, but, like, you know, whatever. Maybe I shouldn't just be saying whatever, but there it is. And different terrains seem to have different effects. So one thing that I've discovered is when you put mountains in a 9x9 formation, they form, or mountains and rocks, I should say, they form an actual, like, piece of terrain called just straight up a mountain. Except more defense. And that gives you a big chunk of HP and some other stuff. And as far as I can tell, defense that we get from the shield is literally just like damage reduction, I think. Back off, human. A vampire. Where are your lands? If your farmers need help, I would be glad to offer it. No more lands, no more flock. Only hundreds of years of emptiness. And hundreds of years of hunger. Boy, you look awful, man. Save yourself while you still can. I don't know how long I will be able to keep my head straight. What hundreds of years are you talking about? Your mind is easy to trick, but you can't trick my hunger. It demands its share. Every sip, every drop of blood will go to satiate it. I'm too weak, but you can help me and I will set this crumbling world right. Right, I'm doing this not for just myself, but for everyone, in the name of good. So be grateful for my hard work and just let me bleed you dry. He mad. He very mad. So like with that grove that we placed down, I think we placed like 2 groves, it spawns this rat dog creature. Okay, this is vastly superior in all ways. We're getting really humped, like real bad. So the reason the vampire is kind of an asshole is because he gives every enemy that he's with vampirism, and that just kind of sucks. Vampires often owned lands, they kept the peace, and helped our settlements to prosper. But this won't do at all. Now they are just pale shadows of their former selves, but physically and mentally. Both physically and mentally. Apparently the blood of other creatures can't sustain them? He wasn't joking about the hunger. Even the creatures that stand near him are imbued with the power to devour someone else's life. Indeed. Indeed. So what does this do? Gives damage to all, which is pretty sweet. Regen per second, which is nice. But also the damage we get already is kind of amazing, so let's just keep what we got. It's not, like, the greatest thing in the world, especially considering that, you know, our hit points are kind of garbage right now. And they are constantly declining. Ooh, what's this? Regen per second. A little bit less max HP, but it also gives us counter chance. Counter chance, in my opinion, is kind of meh. Counter chance, as far as I can tell, is literally just a chance on hit for you to immediately attack. Which is like, okay, sure. You know, that's like, okay. You know, it's not great. Okay, we got a ring. Gives us counter chance. Okay. So This gives 40% movement speed within its range, plus 20% attack speed for all units. I don't know how I feel about that. That seems not great. Because I don't want to give enemies big attack speed. Like, I suppose that works for us if we have a bunch of, like, damage to all. And I should also mention, I believe that the effect of the mountains is and, like, the rocks is retroactive, so it's not like you only get the bonus when you place it. It's like, you get the bonus whenever. We're probably not going to live. I'm going to be honest. This run is looking pretty peaked at the moment. So now we get this. You know, it gives 120 HP, plus 5 additional HP for every adjacent mountain or rock. And spawns a harpy every 2 days. Spawns a harpy thing? Don't like that. Harpies are really mean. They're really, really mean. Slap a slap. Good job. Okay, we're getting vampirism. That's delicious. Gonna heal me? Yes, please. So, one of the reasons we want damage to all, at least the way that I see it, is with damage to all, I believe it also, like, so, like the vampirism we got. Vampirism, as far as I can tell, does actually gain benefits. I'll talk about this in a sec. From damage to all, I think. But I haven't really tested it entirely, but it seems like it does because I've seen, like, my character hit something, and then, you know, I get a bunch of, do a bunch of damage to enemies, and then I get way more vampirism than I normally would, so I'm like, it's got it, right? So anyway, we've got this Oblivion, which, you know, it erases a tile, and the one I'm going to erase is this, because it sucks. It spawns goblins and a goblin boss, and the goblin boss is really, really mean, and I don't like him. You may also be asking, like, hey, or maybe not, you know, you may have actually seen the text of the Vampire Mansion that says it spawns vampire, or not spawns vampire, but, you know, adds vampires to adjacent battles. Yeah, that's why you're not seeing vampires show up, because instead, they, you know, they are just added to adjacent areas. Which is mean and bad, but, you know, that's just how it do. Or how things happen sometimes, I guess. Oh, that's a nice ring. Let's see, regen, attack speed, damage to all, hell yes. Plus it's higher level, so like what the heck. So we're not looking great. We got 30 HP. It's kind of stinky. I'm gonna keep stacking mountains, man, because we want that extra HP real bad. Yeah, this is looking less than great. Just gonna be totally honest with you. That's more damage. I'll take it. With that meadow, this fight scares the holy hell out of me. Let's see how many hit points we get. 2 spiders. That shouldn't be too bad. I mean, the day did tick over, so that's nice. Ooh, boy. You know what? Take our chances. No. What do you mean, no? You want to save the world? You want to ask for help? Our answer is no. How did you... But why... No. We see far away. We see deep inside. For a long time, there has been just emptiness instead of the sky, but it doesn't stop us from seeing. Your saving of the world is one-sided and naive. Each person sees their own way of saving the world. That's why no one will ever join you. Fine, I don't fully understand it, but tell me your version. What does to save the world mean to you? My progeny and my kin, for them to be strong and to live. It's a part of the cycle of life and death. It is life itself. It is the world. I will kill you and feed your remains to my starving younglings, and life will go on. Then how many lives does your blade give birth to by killing again and again? Only one. I don't want you or your children to die from starvation. Please, try to see reason. If my mission succeeds, harpies can have all the sky and all the hunting grounds they need. I can't feed my children with your beautiful words. It's time to say goodbye. Well, poo. Yeah, harpies evade, like, a lot, and they're very annoying. Yeah, we're, like, dying. Okay. But we live. I feel awful. By fixing one evil, I've become a source of another. There's no home for harpies except the highest mountains, but there's no food there. I can't imagine how they managed to survive if their mountains were cut off from reality. So, I mean, like, just little bits of lore here and there. So, we can also check our bag here. We've got 1 stone, and we've got a bunch of these tiny little resources. The whole thing about this is, like, you use this to build stuff in camp. You don't use it while you're on this screen. Ooh, what's this? More vampirism. Same damage to all. And some regen. I will take that. Sounds good to me. Normally what you want is to have like a whole bunch of magic items that are fairly high level. At least that's my perspective on it anyway. Is there anything in here that I want to get rid of? I don't know. I mean, we're actually kind of recovering health, so I guess this is fine. Oof, that counter though. So this battlefield is really cool. Spawns a chest at the start of each loop. Enemies and adjacent tiles become ghosts. So we don't want enemies to become ghosts, which is why I'll usually put this in somewhere where it's not gonna, where there's no enemies. The problem with battlefields is that when you build them, if this like area that it's affecting overlaps another battlefield's area, oh man, you're gonna get some bad stuff. These things called blood clots spawn, and they really suck, like a lot. I can't say I enjoy their presence whatsoever. They are very mean and very bad. Also, skeletons seem to have like a ton of defense, which I hate. And they also do a crap ton of damage, which is another very annoying aspect of skeletons. All right, let's grab this because it's better. Now, one other thing to note is that as your inventory fills up, any items that get like destroyed or that are kind of not overlapping. How can I put this? Like that get replaced by new items. Like, see, that just spawned a resource, and now so we have a stable metal because we had each of these smaller resources. Like, see this one, the stable branches. 12 pieces of sticks form a beam of stable wood. So we have one stable wood because we've collected 14 of these sticks. 14 because 12 to create this, and then 2 more. And then this is going to create something else, etc., and so on. Let's see, we don't have any more ring slots, but do either of these do anything that we're really interested in? No, although that damage to all is pretty sweet. But it doesn't have vampirism. Vampirism is at 16%. I think we're good where we are. So the whole reason that I wanted to put that battlefield down is that chests are essentially like, I don't want to say free loot, but they are loot. They are items that you can use to do stuff. And so to me, I'm like, why wouldn't I, right? You may also ask, like, can you make multiple mountains? No, you can't. It's not how that works. Unfortunate as it is. Although I suppose it's not unfortunate, because then you get even more harpies, and then you have to deal with that crap, and that's... I don't want to put this here, because then it's going to spawn... What if we put it here? Does that work? Yeah, that works. Because the thing is, it spawns a chest on every loop. It doesn't spawn it, like, every day. So I think that we've just made the right choice. In my opinion, it feels like we made the right choice. That's a lot of damage to all, man. What I'm looking for, like... So far, the builds that I've found that work best for the warrior of this class... is vampirism damage to all. And then if you get stuff that gives you lots of attack speed, that's also good. But not entirely... Well. Yes. And sometimes this happens where you find a lower level item that is somehow better. Or better than what you've already got. Yeah, see, we're doing damage to everybody right now. Because what does this thing... Yeah, it does 4 damage to all, which... I mean, honestly, like, this thing having a little bit of defense, it makes sense that you're not taking the full damage. I'm pretty sure that the damage to all just, like, spreads to everybody. We don't want to stack this up too bad, but I think that a spoder here... Yes, I said spoder. Let's put some mountains on this side. Mountains and rocks and stuff. Although, rocks there? Yeah, that still works out, I think. I work out. Side. Do I want to put down any vampy mansions? We do want more loot, but spiders are annoying. Well, one thing that I've found is you don't always want to place all the terrain you get immediately, because that tends to kill you. The other thing is, like, so I would describe this game as an auto-battler. And so what does that mean? I want the vampirism, so I'm not going to get rid of the shield that we got. Because I don't know if you noticed, but whenever you replace, like, if I replace this item with something else in here, this just vanishes, it goes away, and we don't get anything for it. We'll do that. Right, of course. We don't want any goblins, go away. So the goblins spawn every 10 mountains or rocks. 10 mountains or rocks that you spawn. Or place, whatever. But you have no control over who your character targets, because everything happens automatically. Or automatically, depending on how you want to put it. Okay, so this doesn't give as much vampirism, doesn't give as much defense, but also gives attack speed. So... sounds a bit on the stanky side. Yeah, I'll take what we got. So we got this treasury, which is pretty sick. Treasury is really nice. It's really nice, in my opinion, anyway. So what I'm going to try to do is surround this treasury with stuff. So the treasury, what it does is every tile you place next to it gives you an additional resource. Like here, actually, if we just mouse over you, it'll say, gives a random resource after placing anything on an adjacent tile. Can't be built adjacent to anything. When you finish it, it does even more cool stuff. It just gives you a huge pile of stuff. Okay, it gives you a huge pile of goodies. And it's really cool. The only problem is that then it spawns gargoyles. There's a lot of hidden stuff in this game. You know, they don't tell you stuff right off the bat. And I actually kind of like that they kind of let you discover some of these things on your own. And there's so much cool stuff in this game. Like, I really cannot say enough good things about this game. So here's the question. We don't want to, like, I mean, we want the extra HP, that's for sure. So let's put that there. Although, I suppose we could have placed this more efficiently, but whatever. You know, that's one thing you'll notice. I don't tend to give too much of a crap about, like, I didn't place it super efficiently, you know, like, just whatever. It becomes a problem, well, not a problem, but it becomes a thing that you want to concentrate much more later on. But for right now, we're not really caring too much about that, you know? What is? No. Well, the magic damage is pretty sick. But, I mean, I'd like to have the regen, just because it makes us not die. Attack speed, huh? Or rather, it helps us not die. Attack speed would be nice. That's 8%. Oh, wait, that's the same. Screw that, man. For slightly more hit points, I think not. So, like, with the warrior, I tend to not place quite so many, whatchamacallits. Ooh, what this? Slightly less damage. Does damage to all. Gives more attack speed and vampirism. Yes, please. I will take that. So you can see our stats over here. So we get, you know, some damage to all, which is 5, which is actually, like, super great this early. I shouldn't say super great. It's good. It's not, like, the greatest thing ever. Yeah, and sometimes, like, they don't tell you that the chest can sometimes be a mimic. At least I don't think in the text for the battlefield it says that it can. Although maybe when you mouse over the chest, it'll say, like, has a chance to become a mimic. Yeah. So what we're going to do is start placing rocks kind of on the outside. Because, like, the meadows only get the bonus when they're directly adjacent, whereas, like, these things will give you extra resources if something is adjacent, the way that I just did. And we're filling up that boss bar, man. I don't think, like, okay, so, full disclosure, I don't think we're going to get to, like, you know, the full-on end of the run. Like, I don't think we're going to see the boss, just because of the way the game ends up usually working out. This is interesting, though. I don't know if road lanterns... I did not actually mean to place that there. That's a big oops, man. That's a big old oops. I did not actually mean to place the road lantern there, but I don't know... I don't remember what I was going to say. Crap. Ooh. Magic damage. That's a bunch of magic damage. And attack speed. And some more health. You know what? Let's take it. That may be bad, because we're not going to have any passive regeneration. Like, we can only regain health by smacking things now, which is kind of poop. What's this now? Doesn't give vampirism. Gives a little bit of... Nah, I don't think so. So, like, okay, so this stat evasion that you just saw on this ring, all it does is gives you a chance to avoid attacks. And I say all it does, but, like, I mean, that's pretty freaking great, right? We're going to put that there because we're going to put rocks next to it. So, right now we have to prioritize, what do I want to do? Do I want to, like, put stuff around these really bad? And I think the answer is yes, but I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. Less damage, but it does same damage to all and gives defense? No, that's poop. That is absolute poop. Very poopy. Yeah, attack the vampire, please, because he's going to be a problem. Nope, please don't evade. Please. Oh, I need to live. I want to live. Kill the spoders. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I think we have realized that big priority right now is abso-freaking-lutely. So the effects of these do stack, so we want to limit the number of vampires that we get. Jesus Christ. You can get yourself into trouble in this way that I have done. See, we died. So here's the thing. When you run away, you get to keep more of your stuff. When you die, you don't get to keep very much. This is... I'm going to get into that. Basically, you have to beat the first boss in order to get that stuff. I can't believe it. Hey, everybody. The boys managed to return. Survivors. Does this mean I'm not alone anymore? Where did you come from? Is there still a place without darkness? We don't know where we came from, or we can't remember. These people you see are only a small part of what's left of the group, I think. You're not sure? We're not sure. We reached that conclusion because of the abandoned luggage and leftover daily rations. With each day, new signs of presence of people that, as far as everyone here knows, have never even been with us. It's like we forgot them. You forgot? Exactly. It's like people disappear every day and we instantly forget they even existed, almost as if we forgot the place we came from, and our families, and maybe even ourselves. My name is Yota. That's the part I still remember. Nobody else's memory is in much better shape. That's why I remember so little about myself? Everything is forgotten? But wait, you said that I'd managed to return. That means you remember I was here. Yes, that's why it's so important to us. We saw you leave, but you were gone before we could approach you. Listen, we can't wander around in this emptiness anymore. There's a campfire and a few sleeping bags here. A real luxury in these dark times. What do you say? Oh, of course, I'd be grateful if we could team up. I want to restore everything. I've begun to remember the world as it was before. But there's no point to it without other people. It's too lonely without them. Oh, God. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. Excuse me, man. That was a heck of a sneeze. Remembering the world? I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm too exhausted, but we'd be glad if you could help us. And we'd be glad to help you. Just don't ask us to go with you. I don't know how you managed to return, but for us, leaving the group is too dangerous. I will ask no such thing of you. For now, I just want to have a place to return to, a place where I can hear other people's voices. Indeed. We're joking about helping you. Here are a few things that survive the cataclysm and don't vanish away. Can't be forgotten. Take them. You might need them. So you give me some resources. What is the stats? I don't think I've ever looked at this. Oh, dude, interesting. Okay. These are the world forgotten. Wait, forgotten? So let's see. We can build. We can build a field kitchen. Oh, and it unlocks the blood grove. That's such a great piece of tech. All right, so. All right, we got this guy with the big scar over his face, over his eyeball. Do you know the difference between a good cook and a bad cook? The food may be a good. The food may be, or made by a good cook is tastier. What? You're waiting for something more elaborate? Sometimes the truth is very simple. Look, I have a cauldron, a hearth, a couple of knives, a bucket of potatoes, 3 onions, and some ham. Nothing special. Everything is very simple. But give me a few minutes, and everyone in this camp will be running to my table, following the tasty smell of a good stew. Indeed. So now we get this thing that does some stuff for us, and some other crap that we don't really know about yet. Yeah. So this blood grove is pretty sick, I gotta say. So now we go expedition, and now this thing expands out, and we can reform our deck. So this tells you the minimum number of cards, how many cards you got, and your maximum number of cards. Right now, I don't like the beacon. The beacon is not exactly my favorite thing in the world. The cemetery also scares the holy hell out of me, because skeletons hurt real bad. So we're trying to lower, like, the number of cards that we've got, Oh, we need... Okay, so we do need 2 of these, which basically means I'm just never going to place the cemetery. So I think this is going to be what our deck looks like right now. And I believe that as you gain more cards, these numbers do increase. Or change, at least. I think. Because I think in my other file, this number is like 15. And I don't remember what this one is. It may not change. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to confirm. And I'll see you all in the next episode, folks. Hope you all did enjoy this one. If you did, you know what to do. That is me from Minotaur's BLT. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye, folks.